My name is Brij. I'm a real estate broker since 1988. I've seen the good days, the bad days, and the not so bad days. My passion is to educate consumer about all aspects in real estate. Actually, I sold over $1.75 billion in real estate. Now, that's a lot of experience. I went through many failures, many successes, and I've seen many stories that you will be amazed. Not everything looks so glamorous as it is sometimes. On Let's Talk Real Estate, we will dig deep down and I will take you step by step through every process, from buying your first home to buying a multi-million-dollar investment property. We will have various people on this show. Lawyers, investors, we'll have mortgage brokers, appraisals, and everyone else to assist us to take you to that point. My aim is to break it down in such easy terms that you will be able to follow. So please join me every Thursday between 1 and 2, and let's talk real estate.
Hi there, welcome to Let's Talk Real Estate with Amit Kanhai and normally Brij. But here today we actually have Dennis Allison, also from the Brij team. So specifically what we're going to be talking about today is something that a lot of viewers have asked about, and we've briefly touched on it before, but it's well worth the time to make a full episode, Dennis.
Absolutely.
Obviously.
Yeah.
So basically what we're going to be talking about right now is investing in condos or investing in houses. You know, which one's right for you? Yeah. So Dennis, the first thing off the bat, you know, everyone always asks, well, hey, what's right for me? And I know you get this a lot because you're typically our first point of contact at the Brij team. You know, you get people that coming in on the website, or maybe they're giving you a phone call. Dennis is kind of what I call him the sorter. He's the manager of client care, but I call him the sorter.
Yeah.
So basically, Dennis. So you know what when people ask you that, well, I want to invest. What do I invest in? What's the first thing you ask them?
Well, typically, what we said from the last time too is you're gonna want to get a freehold property is your best bet. But at the end of the day, whatever you can invest in, whether it be a condo or a freehold itself, if you can get in when the get-in's good, right?
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of things, I guess, related to, you know, what you're doing with the client versus, you know, some pre-qualifying and then just getting them sent over to, you know, their bank and whatnot. And they kind of also help with that. Because realistically, you know, if it was just up to any of us, and you'd say, well, hey, I want to buy a plaza. Yeah, I'll buy it. Will the bank give you the loan? That's the next question, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of a major thing too, right?
Yeah, just to give a little rundown as how the process works. So if somebody calls me right away and they say, hey, listen, I want to buy something, whether it be an investment property, or a first home, or you know, another home. The process works like this. First, you need to go to your bank or a mortgage broker to see what you get pre-approved for first.
Right.
A lot of people say, oh, I'm comfortable spending $500,000. Okay, you're comfortable with that based on your income and what you discuss with your spouse or, you know, your family members and stuff like that.
And what the payment will be.
Exactly, but without knowing from the bank as to, you know, what your existing debts are. You know, a lot of people don't realize car loans hit them pretty hard when it comes to getting approval. Outstanding debts, student loans, things like that.
And even small things like, you know, a cell phone bill that went haywire.
Yeah, exactly. So that is the first step, is to get the pre-approval first before you go looking for any type of property at all.
Well, it's great you mentioned that, because like you said, you know, someone will just say, hey, I want to buy a house and I want to make it a rental property. So, you know, there's a few steps in between that. So obviously one being the bank. So let's kind of jump right into it now that we finished that little bit of a prelude. So realistically, we are looking at investing in a existing house. That's kind of the first one that's usually, you know, on the top of everyone's list.
Yes.
So it's, you know, a lot of people ask, well, hey, what do we invest in? Do we want to invest in this beautiful big 4-bedroom house because they have a big 4-bedroom house, or whatever the fact is?
Yeah.
Well, I think that's what other people are going to want. what do you suggest on that?
Well, typically, you're right. A lot of people think, okay, I want to get something that I have already, but you're spending a lot more money on getting a house that's got so many rooms.
Yeah.
Your typical place you want to get is primarily a 3-bedroom at least. You don't want to go below 3-bedroom because the resale value is going to be less.
Right.
3-bedroom at least. And then if you have a finished basement, I would say that's a must. You know, it's not always a must because you have people.
But it is important.
It's very important. It's
Yeah.
very important.
Yeah.
A separate entrance is a very nice thing to have, but not necessary.
Right, because nowadays you can legalize that basement dwelling and maybe make double income, but
Exactly.
we won't get into all that
Yeah,
jazz right
exactly,
now. So realistically, people are looking at, so we've broken it down a little bit further now into, hey, am I getting this expensive 4-bedroom house, or am I getting a smaller 3-bedroom house, both detached, or am I getting maybe even a bungalow?
Yeah, bungalows are great, by the way.
Right, and then you have also, we break it down a little bit further. We have semis and different things like that.
Yeah.
So when you talk about this big 4-bedroom house, maybe you're spending $675 or $700 or maybe even $800,000. So what really is going to happen, and I know you tell a lot of your clients this, is, well, think about what kind of rent you're going to be getting in, but then also think about what kind of mortgage you're going to be paying.
Yeah, exactly. And the tenants also.
Yeah.
I find my best tenants are a newlywed couple or a couple that just had a newborn baby. I find that again, it's like we were talking about the last episode too. Just to elaborate on that is, I find they take care of your home like it was theirs. And that's what you want. You want people who take pride in ownership. And once they take care of your home, they're setting up to get their home. So what they're doing is they're squirreling away their money too, so they can buy their home.
Right.
So then it's just good practice for them. I find that's the best.
So it's it's like a practice home.
Yeah, exactly. They cut the grass if there's grass in the townhouse. Take out the garbage.
And really, what the thing that a lot of our investors have to realize is, if you have a $800,000 property and a $650,000 mortgage, your payment is going to be well into the $2,500, maybe $3,000 a month or whatnot. So you're not going to be able to get that from a regular dual family income. So mom and dad working and maybe a grandparent or older child. There's no way that people are going to be able to set aside that amount for rent.
Yeah.
It's just not possible, because if they do, it's almost all of their money. Then they're not able to save on their own accord.
Exactly.
So what I'm really gathering from what you're saying here is, maybe even though those big properties, they look nice, maybe some of the numbers and the financials work out a little bit better on maybe a smaller bungalow or even a semi.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I have a couple semis myself.
Yeah.
And I have no problems with them. They're actually, I would say for me, it's like easier to maintain. Kind of thing for my tenants.
Less grass, less lawn, all those sorts of different items.
Yeah.
And then what? Realistically, if you do have the 3 bedrooms, mom and dad in the same room, and there's 2 kids. There's not really that's kind of the standard family nowadays. But when you have a basement or a finished type of area downstairs, it always makes it a little bit easier. So you can have maybe someone stays down there. It's obviously not, the right code or whatnot, but a lot of the times, larger families, they'll use that as a big entertaining space.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll have parties, or maybe they'll have a television down there. So you're definitely going to make use of the space, and you're still going to you're going to attract the right people in there.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's great. So that's so basically you're kind of making a good differentiating factors there. So now bungalows, obviously. So bungalows, they have a lot of land, a lot of space. They're really good for long-term growth.
Yes.
But they're not always as attractive to the average person. When you're coming in to rent that property, you kind of look at it and say, well, where's the rest of it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You have 3 typically much smaller, tiny rooms that were made in the 60s and 70s and 80s. Room sizes were a lot smaller. And then you have, a kitchen and a living room. That's it on the main floor.
Yeah.
And then,
but the basement is a big part.
The basement's nice, again, that's a nice open space. So when you have a renovated basement in a bungalow, then you have a lot of open space. The nice things about those properties for investing is you actually don't have, there's not many poles or structural support beams in the basement, because you only have one other story to support. You're not supporting this 2 or 3 story property. Yeah.
One thing I'm going to say with anybody who's going to get into investments, put yourself in that person's shoes. what would I want to rent? How can I see my family living in this home? You know, if I have a big family, I'm not going to go with, you know, a bungalow that has smaller rooms.
Right.
I'm going to try to go for something that's a 2-story, could accommodate my family. What do I like to do in my free time? What would somebody else do? Do I do a lot of entertainment?
And
You know,
also,
things like that?
and also, how much you are willing to pay.
Exactly,
Right.
exactly. Another thing too is, you got to think. Sometimes when you get investment property, you're going to have to subsidize some of it, right? So at the end of the day, if you're subsidizing on a bigger mortgage, then it's going to be more at your pocket. So you have to really, again, it comes back to that approval part of it, what you can afford per month, how much you can afford to subsidize.
Right.
And, you know, you have to take that in consideration also.
Great, great. So that's some really good information on, you know, kind of drilling down onto buying an existing property, whether it be a bungalow or, you know, a detached or whatnot. So on that note, what I'll do is I'll ask our viewers just to stay tuned, and then we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll jump into purchasing a new property for an investment. A little bit different, but we're going to get some of the info for you on that one.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity and our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
Welcome back, everyone. So I want to welcome you back to this segment of, or this episode, sorry, of Let's Talk Real Estate. So what we're really focusing on here with myself and Dennis Allison from the Brij team is basically trying to decipher what's best for you when you're thinking about investing. So we kind of went deep into, you know, what a regular existing freehold property is, so whether it be bungalow or detached 2-story or even some semis. So now we're going to talk about, you know, something that's been all the hype over the last few years, and really what that is brand new homes. So new builds, Dennis. I know a lot of clients, they call you, like I said, first point of contact, and they say, well, hey Dennis, you know, I'm interested in some new builds. I wanna invest. I have, you know, X amount of dollars, and I heard that I can buy it right now, and then in 2 years or 3 years when it's done, I've made $300,000, and then I can just sell it. What's your advice? What's your advice to when people say that?
You know, the thing is, it's nice. It looks nice on paper. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, but if you think about the cost behind it, there's so many costs behind it. Yes, you're getting this property at this set price now, and it is going to appreciate. But then again, all properties appreciate over time. Now, having a new build, people think, oh, I'm not going to have to do anything. It's brand new. It still has that new house smell kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. But if they need to plant a tree,
Which they do.
Plant a tree. You know, school fund. You can.
Yeah, you know what?
There's
There's a fun. It's funny that you jump straight into that aspect of it, because yeah, okay. A lot of people say, you know, this is new property. There's nothing really to do. First and foremost, after that new property is done, your car is going to be completely dirty for, you know, a year and a half.
That's true. Yeah, there's no grass.
A lot of people don't want to move into a neighborhood like that. You know, you have children, or even if it's small children, you don't want all that dust flying up at all times. Your air filters are going to be clogged. Your cars are going to be really dirty. So those are just minor things in the grand scheme of things. But you're also going to say, well, hey, maybe tenants aren't going to be as attracted to this property as I thought it was. Because when it's finished, you still have 6 months, 1 year, a year and a half until all these things are laid and constructed.
Mm-hmm.
So, to elaborate a little bit more on what you were talking about earlier with the, the tree planting fees and whatnot. So, there's a standard tree planting fee in each municipality, and certain ones it's up to $750, depending on the tree. So anyway, $250 to $750. And that's just a fee just to plant a tree. You can go buy that tree for $100 and plant it yourself.
Exactly.
But no, that's just a part of the builder package. So something that's also very interesting, Dennis, is called the education lot levy.
Mm-hmm.
So you might say, well, hey, I don't have kids, and that's just, it is what it is. I don't want to pay that. But no, that's a built-in fee. Mm-hmm. That's on top of it that you're going to have to pay. So you're going to have to pay that education lot levy whether you're going to school or one of your kids are going to school or not.
Yes.
So that's another additional thing. Then there's something so small, and I'll stop with the trivial things after this, but there's something so small as a grading fee.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just to grade the land.
Yeah.
So that's to slope things in a certain direction, make sure that things are drained in the right area, very important stuff.
Yeah.
But you're paying, thousands of dollars for all of these little things. And then when you say that you had that price in mind, $450,000, oh, that's a steal.
Yeah.
Houses right now are going for $550. Dennis, you add up all those things in between, and you're going to see it's going to add up very quickly to $10, $15, $17, $18,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah. Go
Sorry
ahead.
to cut you off there. Another thing too I like to relate to when it comes to new homes, anything new in period, like say when you go to buy a new car, you get the base is say 17,000.
Right,
so
right.
you're saying, oh, that's great. Okay, you want automatic windows,
Mm-hmm.
you want air conditioning, you want all this type of stuff, you want heated steering wheel, all this type of stuff. It adds up.
Yeah.
So
things that you and I may actually consider as standard might not be builder standards. So
That's the thing.
what they call it is builder grade when they look at Korean countertops versus granite countertops. The $1 per square foot white tiles that from back in the day versus some 24 by 24 tiles, some nice fat ones, or marble, whatever it is you're interested in.
Mm-hmm. Actually, even too, you got to think of when the builders make it nowadays. I find, I'll give you an example. My brother just bought a brand new build house.
Right.
I tried to stop him. Didn't listen to me. So I said, okay, you're gonna see. So now, his front door, sits like this. So
really?
he gets air coming in from both
Air
sides.
seepage, right?
They came in 3 times to fix this door.
Wow.
The door still does the same thing. So now there's all these different things. They tell you, okay, put a piece of tape on it, we'll fix it. Next thing you know, you're waiting months and months and months down the road to get this thing fixed. And he's currently been in this place for about, I would say, a year now. And he's still trying to get things fixed. And they're just saying, oh, yeah, we're a little bit busy at this time. We can't do it,
Right.
It's nice to have these things. Like these
if everything
new
was
properties.
perfect. If everything
Exactly.
was perfect.
Nothing's perfect. And a lot of the times, these builders these days are doing a little bit of a rush job on it. That's why I always recommend a house that's already built.
Yeah, and I guess you can really kind of you can decide based on the builder's reputation. A lot of people prefer to go with some of the big guys, the guys who've been big players like Mattamy or Green Park or whatnot. And typically they have a little bit of a more better customer service and things like that. But yeah, like you said, these things they slip through the wayside. And then if you have a tenant in this property and this was your investment property, then you're basically getting that phone call from your tenant every single time, and then you're the one that has to call these guys, and then they can say, hey, you're not fixing this item, so I'm not paying the heating bill because my heating bill is through the roof.
Yeah, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah, so these are things that a lot of potential issues that could arise with new builds, and we just still didn't even get into issues with taxes. So a lot of people will say, hey, Dennis, I wanted to buy this property. I don't mind the education lot levies and all those different fees. It's still, when I add it all up, I'm still getting it at $475 versus $550. Okay, all right, great. So then you wait the 2 years. Let's just say you don't have any delays, because obviously you could have some delays. And those are more, they really happen a lot more frequently with condos. So we'll jump into that in segment 4.
Okay.
But so let's just say you don't have any delays, and you have this lovely property that it's taken 2 years to build, and you're ready to move in. A lot of people say, well, Dennis, I want to sell that thing right now. Can you just sell it? You can't.
No, you can't.
Because what's happening is you're gonna get a huge HST tax bill in a lot of cases. A lot of times, what these guys will do is they're gonna that advertised lower price that looks so much lower than the regular homes out there has an HST built into it. Or so what's happening there? The government knows that that's been built in. The builder has actually applied for that, and they've reduced the price by that amount. So then really what's happening is, if you sell that property right away, government's going to come knocking on your door.
Exactly. So are you really winning?
No.
The taxman's winning.
Yeah, because what's going to happen is, Dennis, you can get a $25,000 tax bill. And then what happens? So let's just sure you made, your $150,000 and minus all your additional fees. And then let's just say, boom, okay, you got a big tax bill. If you didn't set aside for that, you're in some hot water. Yeah. So then also, we'll fast forward a little bit. Let's just say everything went perfect and you got your tenants in that property. So you rent it out most people say they rent it out for a year, or they live in the property for a year, and they kind of avoid whatever tax implications. So you still get down to the issue where you've got someone in a brand new property, and anything can go wrong at any particular time. That's going to take a lot longer to get fixed than you and I just calling a handyman to go over and fix it.
Yeah.
Because when you call a handyman over, it's going to get sorted out, whatever the issue is.
Exactly.
When it's the builder, maybe it's going to take a week, a month, like in your brother's case, a year.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of different things to wonder and to think about, and also the fact of the matter is your down payment structures are a lot higher with the new build. So different things like that, and then your tenants maybe might not like the neighborhood or the area, or who's going to be living in that particular neighborhood. So a lot of things like that to think of. So I really appreciate that insight on that.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do right now is we're going to ask our viewers just to stay tuned, because after the break, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to jump into the same thing, but purchasing condos brand new versus purchasing condos existing. All right, so we'll ask you guys just to take a quick break with us, and see you soon.
And how's your experience been so far?
I'm loving it because
This is my first year here, and I was so excited.
I've had so many people come, so much traffic. I'm absolutely tired.
Because of all the exposure that I got from this great event, I was able to grow and evolve and create my very own label.
It's been a fantastic event.
This is my second year.
This is a great and awesome event connecting to the community.
So yeah, we urge you to join here. It's a great turnout.
So for those of you who are not here this year and have business, make sure that you're here next year, because it's only going to get better every year.
So I will be back next year. So thank you. This is so awesome.
So people who aren't here, what would you tell them?
You're missing out. Come out and have some fun.
Welcome back, guys. I want to thank you guys for tuning in to Let's Talk Real Estate with Amit, Kanhai, and normally Jay Bridgepaul, but right now we actually have Dennis Allison, also from the Brij team, so he's filling in. And like I was telling you guys earlier, he's kind of our first point of contact for the majority of the clients. So when you give us a ring, you're probably going to hear this jolly guy. So what we're going to be talking about right now is this whole episode, right? I was telling you, Dennis, is the difference between brand new and resale for investing purposes. So it works both ways with condos and with houses. So right now we're going to focus a little bit on the new condo purchases, because it's kind of trailing in on what we left off on with the new house purchases. So a couple major things points that are going to roll on over are you're not sure what the space is going to look like. you're not sure who's going to be occupying the building. There are certain issues with, a lot of buildings that maybe it just really depends. You don't know who's going to be living there next door to you at that point, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So these are a lot of things that kind of roll over from the last topic. So let's kind of jump in. So existing condos. New condos.
Well, I'm going to talk about both.
Yeah.
So I find when it comes to condos, I recommend to all of my clients I would recommend that you go with an older condo. Reason being is that the maintenance fees are not usually as high. The maintenance fees and periods, I don't like maintenance fees, but we'll get into that. It's the size.
Yeah.
The older condos have a good size to them. If you've ever gone to downtown Toronto and seen these condos, they're like a shoebox. You can barely fit in there. If you have two friends over, you guys are touching arms.
Right.
So it's like...
So that's a major thing for, existing versus new. And really with the new condos, sure, there's a lot of nice features, man. You get brand new amenities, very nice swimming pools, and a lot of them have 24-hour security guards. And one thing, Dennis, the maintenance fees are very, very low on those new condos, but a lot of our clients don't realize that the maintenance fee is typically fairly low for the first year and a half, and that the condo corporation does that for a specific reason. They're not sure what the usage of those shared amenities and utilities are going to be. So they're going to set it at, fairly low amount, maybe $100, $250 a month. And they're going to kind of build a base and then say, okay, it's been 1 year. And the average unit holder has actually been using around, $400 a month. So then they kind of readjust, and then they say we need this amount to go into savings. So those really nice, attractive, low maintenance fees, they're not really, something that's really as attractive as you think about it.
Yeah.
And a lot of these guys, what they'll do, the condo builders, they'll say, we're going to waive your fees for the first year. Really what they're doing is they're just going to tack that onto the price of the unit. And then they're going to really establish what the baseline is. And then they're going to have it after year 2. So you're not really getting away with anything with these new condos. I think that's kind of what you're
what I was trying to get at, actually. Sorry, I kind of mixed it up a little bit. The condo fees are low on the new builds. But on the existing condos, they're higher, yes. But they've already gone through that process of the assessing as to what people are using and what's the right amount to be.
Companies already had multiple meetings and realized they figured it out.
Exactly.
Basically.
And with the older condos, they have the money in the reserve fund. So reserve fund meaning things to money to fix the building. Say the bricks and the balconies or windows.
Yeah, roof and all those things. So I can
already established that.
Yeah, so I can tell right off the bat you're the advocate for the older
older
condos.
For sure.
And myself, I really I like the new ones too. I like the older ones, but I really like the ones in the sweet spot, right in the middle.
Yeah.
So probably maybe about 8 years old. And you still have a really nice quality and workmanship. So there's a couple things I want to say specifically with the newer condos. Maybe not all of them apply to this, but a lot of them actually have a little bit of a different standard of quality assurance and things like that. You've seen a lot of these newer condos downtown last year and the year before, window panes shattering and all of the on the railings and the people walking below. That sounds like something out of a horror movie, really. So when you think about that, it's crazy. If you're walking downtown Toronto and then you have window glass falling on you, that's nuts.
That's crazy, yeah.
You really typically don't see that in a lot of the older ones. A little bit of a different construction quality. Not trying to say that there's a clear-cut difference, but if the older buildings were lasting 15 years or 25 or 30 years with nothing like that happening, and these guys are their glue broke off in year 1, maybe you have a little bit of an issue there.
Yeah, exactly. You see, the thing is too with the new condos. Again, it comes like to my brother's story. There's still things that need to be fixed, and you're still working out the kinks. The thing is, why I'm an advocate for the older condos is because the kinks are already worked out. The people before you have gone through that problem already. You're getting the end product,
right?
And a lot of the times they put in all these extra things to make
little incentives,
revitalize it.
Yeah.
They fix it up, the kitchen and stuff like that, to revitalize it because it's an older condo.
Yeah, so you like the space and whatnot.
Oh, absolutely.
So now there's another quick point on that. So a lot of the things rolled over also from the new house purchases. So when we're looking at new condo purchases as an investment, it's got a really nice low price point. So maybe you have 300,000, 350,000. But one thing people don't realize is they're spreading out that deposit structure.
Yeah.
Over 1 year, year and a half, but you're actually putting the full 20% down.
Exactly.
So that's, I guess, another point in your in your side that you can maybe get away with the 5% down or the 10% down. So that makes a little bit of a maybe easier entry point to get into an existing.
Yes.
And then also last thing to touch on new is assignments.
Yes.
So I know you had a little bit of experience in that as well, but I'll share one of mine first.
Okay.
So I have a specific client, purchased this condo with the intention to actually live in it. So it wasn't really going to be an investment. And then there was a 1-year delay. So it already took 2 years. There was a 1-year delay. He said that's fine. He's still going to plan on moving in the condo. After that 1-year delay, he says, I'm going to rent it out. They give him a ring and said, the condo's delayed again. So now we're at 4 years of a delay.
Yeah.
So now my friend, he's actually decided, he met a girl, he's moved to the U.S., and now he's gone. The condo is only now being finished and completed in this year. I believe it's in June of this year. So this is at almost the 5th year. So his intention now is, well, hey, let me just rent it out and kind of do what I got to do or sell it. So I've gone over all the options. Renting out was one option as well. But then we're not really sure. The area has built up quite a bit. We're not really sure who's going to be available in the area. We know what the rental market is. But at this point, he's already dumped so much money in here and it's been in there for 5 years. He's thinking maybe I should just sell it. So there's also something you can do called an assignment sale, which you can also do with the new builds. And that's actually before it's completed. So you're really just you're assigning the right to purchase on that property.
How that works is, if once you assign it to the next person, what happens? You get back your deposit that you put on the property, and they would then close the property.
Yeah, and realistically, so what happens? It's kind of like here's the contract right here. This is my contract, but now legal, people step in, a lawyer steps in, and now they assign that contract to you. So you're really just you're reassigning the right to purchase because you don't own anything yet if it's not built. So that does hold true for houses as well. But it's really a little bit more of a sticky situation because you're assigning it before it's completed, so you're not going to be getting the full price as if you were when you waited till completion.
Yes.
And then there gets into some other issues where if you did actually wait till completion, then you still have your HST issues and different things surrounding that. So really, new is a little bit harder when it comes to condos for getting it right away and then renting it out versus an existing. And what we're going to do is just ask our viewers just to stay tuned a little bit right now, and then we're going to jump a little bit more into the existing condos and how you can really benefit from those. Because I know you have a lot of clients that have started investing in those. A lot of guys in the Square One area, even in Etobicoke. So we'll kind of jump into that after the break.
Think you have what it takes to bring value to the community? The TCN TV network is expanding and now accepting TV show proposals. Here's an opportunity to build celebrity status and become part of an elite group of community advocates that are focused on building, strengthening, and empowering our community in a positive way. Are you interested in embarking on a new adventure? TCN TV is searching for people interested in opportunities to change the conversation and pave an unforgettable legacy. If you feel you have something of value to offer, send a written show proposal to shows@mytcntv.com.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity and our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
Hi everyone, welcome back to this episode of Let's Talk Real Estate with myself, Amit, Kanhai, and this is Dennis Allison, also from the Brij team. So this episode, we're really just kind of focusing on, what's right for you when you're doing your first time investment. Is it a detached property? Is it is it a small bungalow, or is it a condo? So there's a few different things that we really are going through: new builds versus existing, and specifically with a tail on if it's right for investing. Yeah. So Dennis, I know this area specifically is existing condos. It's something that you and I have many clients that are kind of in this realm. So if you could jump in a little bit, like what I know you really prefer these ones, but you like the older condos. Tell me why.
I like the older condos because, again, like I said, with the space of them, and they've already been lived in, so the kinks are worked out. For example, I have a friend of mine. He has an investment condo right behind, I forget the exact address, but it's right behind that Rabba, right by the Square One on the other side.
Oh, okay, of the right. So Square One area.
You know what I'm talking about. So that property is huge. The windows it's all windows along that side there, and the kitchen has been done, the floors have been done, the rooms have been redone, bathrooms, everything's been redone.
So you're not getting that little matchbox as you were talking about earlier, but you're also getting a really nice large space that you can kind of renovate and rework and reimagine.
Exactly.
I guess to that point, it's a little bit tough when you want to reimagine a 550 square feet or 600 square feet. You can't really do too much with it. Your bedroom's already here, or this is already there. With a place like that, you can kind of take out some walls and make things larger, or make a little nook or a computer study area. So it's a little bit easier if you're a little more of a handy guy. So I see your point. So for guys like me that aren't really super handy, maybe we want to go with, we don't mind, not even the older ones. I prefer maybe even ones that are 1 or 2 or 3, 5 years old, Dennis. Because one thing that's nice about those, you have an idea exactly who's in that building. You know what the tenant kind of profile looks like, and if it's a family building, if it's a young and vibrant party building. So you know what you're going to be getting yourself into when you have this property advertised, and you can kind of go in and already visualize the space, which is nearly impossible when you're buying something from a blueprint. That goes the same for a house or a condo, but even worse with a condo, because you sometimes get little jagged areas and spots that you might think this looks really nice on the blueprint, but you go in there and realize, well, my couch is not going to fit here, and there's going to be a 1 foot gap between the wall, right?
Unused space.
So that's a major thing as well. And then the number one thing is, there's the pricing is almost always going to be a little bit more expensive when you're looking at a new, the new build in certain areas. So downtown Toronto, maybe the advertised price is a little bit lower, but when you look at all the fees and everything, you might be significantly higher. I know that's happening right now in Mississauga. That the unnamed condo, we'll leave it at that, but those are the ones that are building 10 condos right there in the area. So it's actually so many other condos in abundance in the Square One area that you're able just to pick up something that's almost identical, that's not the brand name, but for $50,000 or $40,000 cheaper, and you're still able to get tenants. Dennis, tell us, how many tenants do you typically get calling in for rent on condos, especially in those high traffic areas?
Oh well, especially nowadays, because with the stress test that's going on now, a lot of people aren't able to afford to buy right now, so they have to wait a little bit. They have to rent. We're finding a lot of people are calling in, especially in that the Mississauga area, Etobicoke area, those high traffic areas, especially
even Scarborough Town Center,
Town Center. As long as location. That's the key.
You have good transit access. You have GO trains.
Schools, amenities, all that stuff. That's the best thing. Those are the type of investment properties.
And shopping malls.
Shopping malls, of course. Anything of amenities and schools and transit.
So you want to go with. So it's so important then, because when you're buying these existing properties, condo or house, you know what's in the neighborhood. You know what's in the area. You're not just buying this piece of land that's an imaginary spot that's in the sky. And you can see what the people are like in the neighborhood. You can see what the what the bus routes are. It's so important to make sure you have ample transit. Sometimes people will not choose a location just based on a bus schedule being every 15 minutes versus every 10 minutes or every 20. You know what it is? So it's something very simple like that.
Yeah. I'm going to say something actually to everybody out there who's planning to do investments. Do your research. Make sure you do the research as to all of these things that we're talking about, because at the end of the day, if you just buy something out of the blue, you may be hurting your pocket and yourself.
Yeah, definitely. I can see that as well. No, so realistically, you know, we've kind of covered majority of the stuff with you know, versus new condos, old condos, brand new houses, and older homes. What's your, give me the Dennis approved what you would do?
I'd buy an existing one. I like existing. At the end of the day, because here's another story I can give to you. It was from long back in the day when my mom got a condo townhouse.
Right.
I was in high school. And she got this condo townhouse. Unfortunately, I love my mom to death, but she doesn't do her research like I'm trying to tell you to do. So she got this place. It didn't look anything like what she wanted. But first, before that, we were renting. This place didn't finish for 3 years later. So now, imagine how much rent we've accumulated that could have been going towards the mortgage.
Paying off the mortgage, right?
The thing is, she's paying the mortgage too, paying all these things at the same time. Also we're paying rent too. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of money that accumulates. That's why I would rather go with something that I know is a sure thing.
Freestanding, existing. You can kind of you can see it, touch it, feel it. It's tangible.
Yeah, exactly. So I like existing. That's my take on it. Go existing.
And realistically, you know, guys, there's no right or wrong answer.
That's true.
You know, and then, you know, Dennis and I love to, you know, banter back and forth, and
that's just my opinion.
Yeah, so it is what it is. You know, we're not going to tell you, you know, go do this or go do that. We always would advise that, you know, you come in and see us, or you give us a call, or you do some research online, or just talk to your real estate professional and kind of try and figure out which one's the best fit for you.
Absolutely. When it comes to investing, invest in whatever you can invest in.
Yeah,
that's it.
And now with that being said, we just want to do a quick market update and see what's going on in the market.
Absolutely.
So you know, it doesn't really change that significantly week to week, but it's nice that we're able to be, you know, the guys with our feet on the ground, and we're kind of reporting back to the viewers. So what are you seeing with regards to, let's just say, for example, what we're talking about, condos right now?
Condos right now, they're booming because, again, it comes down to affordability. This is what people can afford. The pre-approvals are coming in a lot less than they were last year. You know, that's why I was telling a lot of clients of mine, if you're going to get something, try to get your approval first, so before the new year.
Right.
So when the rule changes come in, you can have that. They can hold on to it.
Have something set. They have something set for X amount of months, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, or so.
Exactly. But if you're unfortunate enough not to be able to do that, again, condos are the next best thing. Get your feet wet. Get in the market.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, because Dennis, I just listed a condo in Etobicoke 7 days ago. We listed it for $414,000. It was a 2-bedroom, 2-washroom, beautiful building, and really nice place. You know, it's very close to Woodbine racetrack and whatnot. We had 6 offers on the property, 6 within 7 days, and it actually ended up selling for $1,000 over the asking price.
Wow.
So it's really, you know, and this is a climate where we're saying that properties aren't supposed to be selling, you know, over asking price the way they were last year or a year and a half ago, but there's a specific price range when it comes to condos or condo townhouses. They're highly coveted because people's purchasing power has been slightly reduced from previous years with some rule changes.
Yeah. I want to say to everybody too, can you stop listening to 680 and CP24? Because the problem is, talk to your real estate expert. Talk to somebody where it makes sense. You know, do your research, because they're gonna tell you, oh yeah, the price is gonna go like this. Everybody goes in a crazy, hectic, frantic thing, but it's not actually like that. So before you go crazy, talk to somebody first.
Do your research and do your research. And let's clarify, we love the news and we love both those stations, but definitely you want to make sure we call, a lot of times in the investment world, from when I was at the bank, they called it noise, not news. And it's really because a lot of these things are out there to get your attention, to grab your attention, and bring you in, Dennis. So I'll give you an example. A family friend of mine called me a few days ago. I think it was just yesterday, and she said, Amit, I've heard that the real estate market is down 30% right now.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, no, like if the real estate market was down 30%, it's like, my house, is it worth 30% less? Amit? Well, I said, no, the volume is down. Probably about 30%, actually.
So let me restate
now that you mentioned that. Yeah.
So don't listen to the noise.
Yeah.
My apologies.
Yeah.
Not that I don't
Decipher it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Decipher.
Exactly.
So yeah, when you think about it, she said, well, Amit, did I lose, $150,000? Is my house really down by that amount? And I said, no. The volume is down. But the way that they can say it is, well, hey, the real estate market is down 30% in the GTA. First thing in your mind is going to come across and say, oh my gosh, did I lose $100,000 on my property?
Yeah.
So it's one of those things we got to separate a little bit of the noise. Market is not in turmoil. Nothing's happening crazy where we're plunging, to U.S. levels in during the Depression. So we're not really in a bad situation. But what you really gotta stress to people is do a little bit of research. Make sure the purchase you're making, you're able to afford it. Your banker's on board. Your real estate professional's on board.
Exactly.
A lot of those different
Do your
things.
research is what the main thing is. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's good stuff. So I really want to thank you guys for tuning into this episode of Let's Talk Real Estate. It's been really great, and I just enjoy so much talking to you guys and having guests on like Dennis that can give us their feet on the ground. So I just want to again thank you guys for tuning in and hope to see you next time.